Hello and welcome back to Diary of My Frugal Life. Today I'm here to answer your questions. Thank you so much for everyone that left a question or more questions for me to answer in this video. If you have more questions or if you haven't yet asked the question, you can continue and I will do a part 2, but I thought it would be better to answer these questions now, and then if more arise I can do a second video. Before I start with the questions that you asked, I want to give you some update on my mental health. Yesterday, on the 14th of May, it marked 2 months that I've been at home, signed off work with anxiety and depression. I'm on medication, and I also had some CBT therapy, and I'm now on a waiting list for one-to-one counselling. I have nothing to say about the NHS because the follow-up from my GP has been incredible. Even the talking therapies, yes, there's a waiting list, but you know, lots of people have mental health issues, so that means that people are actually being seen. And every time I've spoken to them, I feel listened, I feel that they actually care, and the professionals have been really good. So I want to show my appreciation about it. Yesterday when I put up a story on Instagram about my mental health and this update, because it marked 2 months I was at home, I started receiving lots of messages from private therapists trying to sell me counselling sessions. I'm not going to pay for something where I feel the NHS is actually been really good. So, you know, I just feel like people are just always wanting to bombard you with everything that they're trying to sell, and I just don't like that at all. I'm feeling better. I feel like I don't have the low mood I used to have. Definitely have improved. Sometimes I feel like I miss going to work, and I miss that routine of waking up, going out, seeing people, going to work. But every time I think about my work, my current work, I get my anxiety cripples up and rises again to the point of any time I think about my work and being in front of a class makes me having a panic attack. So I'm just waiting for the notice period to go, but I'm really looking forward to my new job. I think it's going to be great. I received an email from my new employer this week, and I'm just like, I'm really excited and looking forward to it. So it's been really good to know that in a few months my life might change for better, because that's exactly what I want. I want a better change. I want to be not happy, because I'm a happy person. I don't feel unhappy. I just, it's this anxiety, this working life balance that never existed with my job, especially in the last 4 years, has been really bad. The education system has changed for worse. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to a new start. But I just wanted to give you an update, because I think it would be important to, and no one asked about it, so I just wanted to see. So the first question I've got here, I'm not going to say your names, you know who you are, and I feel like it's just better we just talk about the questions, because even though one person asked, more people might have had the same question in their head as well. So yeah. So the first question, how old are you? I am 43 years old. I'm going to be 44 in December. So yeah. How many years ago did you leave Portugal? So, as you know, I'm from Portugal, and I came to the UK 11 years ago. So yeah, it's been, sometimes I feel it's been a long time, sometimes I feel like it looks like I just arrived yesterday. So yeah. um, do you think about going back to Portugal? No. uh, I'm looking forward to my holiday this year. I don't even go to Portugal on holiday every year. uh, the prices are too expensive, but also I don't feel the need. The UK is my home. This is truly the place where I feel happy with my life. Um, so yeah, I don't see myself living in Portugal again. What do you miss most about living in Portugal? So what I miss most about Portugal is my family, because of course, sometimes I feel like it would be, especially in like important dates and things, birthdays and all these kind of things, you feel like you are missing out. But you know I can't go all the time. But at the same time, yes, I can pick up the phone and I speak to my mom a lot, and so yeah, it's just, that is kind of what makes me feel a little bit more like, I would like to live near them if I could, but at the same time, I feel I have a better life here, and here is truly my home. I don't see myself in Portugal again. I I don't think I fit there anymore with the way I think, my way of life. I just don't feel I would fit there. But what I miss the most about the country, living in that country, well, the sunshine, for sure. Because there are times in winter where the UK, or even now, when it just starts raining non-stop, and I speak to my mum and she said, "Oh, it's very hot in here." Yeah, it was like the weekend. What weekend? I spoke to my mum last week, Thursday or Friday, something like that, and I was like super happy saying, "Oh, it's 20 degrees here. It was lovely." And my mama was like, "Oh, it's 40 degrees here." I was like, "Yeah, great." So the sunshine definitely. But sometimes what I think from what I used to be able to do is, where I lived near Lisbon, I easily could go near the seaside anytime I wanted. Even there was a time, like in summertime, I would pick up my son from school, get our swimming suits and stuff, and we just went to the beach after school, and then go home later on, because it was very nearby, and you just make the most of it, because the daylight has longer hours and everything. So I feel like that is kind of the things I miss the most, because I live in southeast England, in Hampshire. It's not near the sea. uh, yes, there's beautiful places here. The countryside is beautiful, the forests are beautiful, but I miss being near the sea. How long have you lived in UK, and do you like it here, and what was the reason you chose to come here? So, I came here 11 years ago in 2013, and it came I wasn't very happy in my job in Portugal. Um, I I wasn't just feeling fulfilled in my job, and I have a friend that she lives in Netherlands, and I talk to her a lot, and you know, I always, even before this, I always thought about going to live in a different country. But then I had my son, and I kind of put that dream away. Um, but then, as we talked, and she was saying so great things that, would be for my life if I went to move to a different country. So I started to look where I could live. Now, I'm not great with the different languages. I've never been, and my English was really poor. And but it was the best language because I can't speak French. I don't really speak Spanish. I couldn't speak German. So I thought, okay, I need to go to a country where I can speak English because it's the best language I can speak. So I started to look, and the first country I looked it was actually Ireland. Um, and I started to talk to a Portuguese person that lives there. She's a teacher like me, an RVS teacher, just like me. And she went to live there. And I started, and we talked about it. But then I realized, even though there's English, that, it's not just that language. Um, and I started to feel like, no, that's not for me. So then I started to think about England, UK, but mostly England. I didn't consider Wales or Scotland or Northern Ireland. Um, so I started to look at England, London, and there was a person that worked with me, has some friends living in near London. Well, near London, but not London. And when I came because I was able to apply for a few jobs remotely, and I was given an interview. Um, I came. I came for a weekend. I came on a Sunday and I left on the Monday after the interview. And it was the first time I actually visit UK because I've never been here and I was considering living in UK. And it was a sunny day, and as I walked in middle London, then of course I had time to like go to the seasides near the Big Ben, London Eye, and all that kind of stuff over there. I felt like, yeah, I could live here, and I felt really excited about it. The interview didn't go well. They were looking for something else, and this was in a day nursery. But what they wanted, uh, I couldn't do because it was like an apprenticeship route, um, and I couldn't do it because I couldn't meet the criteria. So I decided, well, I'm going to keep looking, and I continued to look for job adverts, and then I got another interview, and the first one was the 18th of February, and then the next one was on the 3rd of March. And then I decided I want to go at least for a week or two to see if actually, even if I don't get that job from the interview, I could stay there longer looking and try better. So that person that was working with me, with the friends here, said, oh, I can give you the contact, you can speak to them and see whether they can help you with accommodation for the time you're going. And that's what I did, and it was great to have that support when I came. So I came on my own. I was still with my job there, but with the intention of resigning if I wanted to stay. I went to the interview. I did get the job, but I knew I wanted to stay. So I resigned from my job and I said I wanted to stay. And then I started to do all the things I needed to be able to live here, apply for the national insurance number, having a GP, a bank account, all the things that I now knew I needed if I wanted to have a job here. So with some help, I started to get everything ready, and a week later I got another interview and I got the job. Um, and it was great, but this job was in Fulham in London and I was living in High Wycombe. Now if you know, it is a very very long and expensive journey, and I was on the train, the tube, the buses, everything, um, and I was feeling quite tired with that, and I knew I wanted to, because I also wanted to bring my son as well. I wanted to build a life, and at the beginning, because I didn't really have money, because in Portugal I just couldn't save money. Everything was so expensive. I just couldn't on my own be able to save any money. So I came with no money, and it was hard because I knew for renting a house, even if it was a small house, I needed to have uh, some money up front. Now, just wait a minute because my camera's gonna stop filming the battery. I need to plug it in, but I will continue. So yes, the beginning of my life here was a bit hard, and then I even moved back to Portugal for a few months because of the fact that I didn't have money. I couldn't rent a house, and I was really feeling very down in that moment. But then, as I went, after a few months here, and I went to Portugal, I knew I couldn't live there anymore. I just didn't like it anymore because the way of life is so different. I didn't fit there, so I had to make a plan and come back. And luckily, my job here in the UK accept me back when I emailed them saying I really want to go back, would you give me my job back? They accept me, and then I came back in September 2013, and my son came in January the following year, and since then things been better and better every year. I might not have loads of stuff, but I can save, I can have a good life, um, and yeah, I feel like it's so different that I really could not go and live in Portugal anymore. But I'm Portuguese and I love, every time I see someone speaking Portuguese around me, I get really excited, or I love going to a Portuguese shop and buying some Portuguese produce. Uh, I will always be Portuguese, but this is my home. Um, what do I like here? I like my life. I like the fact that I build up a happy life here with my son. Yes, I rent a house, but this is my home. You know, I decorate it with the things I can. I do the things I want. I like the fact that um, I can actually do the things I want and be happy. Um, so yeah, I couldn't do this in Portugal because the life there is much harder financially, um, and I've got the security here that I didn't have there. How old is my son? My son is 20 years old and is going to be 21 next month in June. So yeah, he's an adult now. He's been here since he was 10. Um, so yeah, it's just half of his life he's been more of half of his life he's been here because he's going to be 21 now. So yeah, he loves here. He doesn't want to go. He adapted really well actually. Um, when he came, uh, we used to live in a good house in Portugal, in a flat, two-bed flat. Um, that was quite spacious because the house sizes are quite different, and we felt that when we moved it. And when he came to live with me, we were in an HMO and house chair, where between all of us, me and my son included, there were 11 people living there. So we had a bedroom, we had to share the kitchen, we had to share the bathroom. Everyone was great and everyone loved my son. It was really cute. Um, but yeah, we lived there for 9 months and it kind of felt like I'm confined to this bedroom. But I would always take him everywhere. We would go to the park, we would go spend lots of time outside the house because the house was quite small. Um, so, you know, I tried to give him the most I could. And because there's so many things that are free in UK and especially in London, it was very easy for me to just take him. We visit every museum that there is in London for free. We've been to the parks, we've been everywhere. Um, we love going out, we love doing things together, we still do. Um, but yeah, I think that was kind of what he didn't like. He adapted really well in school. He went to school to year 6, he started in February. Um, he made friends easily. The school was lovely, it was a small school. Um, and yeah, he learned so much. And when he went to the secondary school, his English was so great by that time, and it was just a few months in between. So yeah, I'm really proud because, you know, he doesn't love school, he never did, but he passed his all GCSEs with great grades. So, and it was, he actually did his GCSEs before, the year before COVID, so I know the grades weren't inflated due to COVID or anything, lockdowns. So I know it was actually his merit that he did really well. Um, and in our works, he actually finished his apprenticeship yesterday. He passed his apprenticeship that he did, and he loves his job. He works really close to home. He loves being at home. We are very close to each other. We like to do things together, especially watching football, something that I learned to like because of my son. So when he was young, he always loved football, even when we lived in Portugal. And you know, I did everything I could to keep his passion for football alive. So I would take him, um, for him to play football, for him to watch games. So yeah, I think it's something we always did together since he was like 4 years old. And we continue to do. Even last Saturday we went to watch a football game. Um, we just do it all the time. It's something we actually like to do. We always like to go for a drive with no destination, something we both like. We love driving, both of us. Um, Sometimes it's a bit of a competition, who's going to take the car, um, because we both love driving. Um, but we like to go in the car not knowing where is our destination, and just go. and then come back home. It's just something. And my son loves spending time at home. Yes, he spends a lot of time playing, gaming, um, and he does his own things. He also, he has his friends, but he definitely prefers to be at home. Do you ever order any takeaway food? If so, what's your favourite? So, I always have been a very fussy picker eater. I I have learned over the years to like some more food, but I don't like to taste new food. You might have seen from my meals of the week videos. I kind of eat the same meats and the same meals. I kind of rotate them because I don't like to try new foods. If we order a takeaway, it's usually a pizza because it's something I like and I know I like. We sometimes get McDonald's or like Subway or something like that that I also like. But saying that we're gonna go and order a Chinese or an Indian or any other food, we don't because of me. So last Saturday, my son loves Indian food, and he usually goes because with his work they often go out for dinners and stuff, and they all like Indian food and they go to different Indian restaurants. Um, I've never been to one, and it was like, oh, we should eat an Indian, we should eat an Indian, and I was like, oh my god, he wants to go to an Indian restaurant on his birthday, and I'm already dreading it because I'm not sure what I'm gonna eat. I, when I see certain foods, and I don't know what's in there, I don't really have that pleasure in eating it, if that makes sense. So we tried the Sainsbury's fake away Indian food. It was actually nice. I didn't like the onion stuff, the onion bhajis, something like that. Um, but I liked the chicken dishes and the chicken samosas. But still, I'm feeling like unsure what I'm gonna eat there because I'm worried I'm gonna order something I'm not going to like. Um, when we go to a restaurant, we usually go to safe restaurants where I know I'm gonna like the food. I need to read the menu before I go. Um, but it's just because I am such a fussy eater. My son eats almost everything. The only things he's a bit more funny about is certain vegetables um, and some fruits. For me, is everything. There's only a couple of fruits that I eat. There's only a couple of vegetables I eat, and there's only a couple of meat and fish that I eat. So, yeah, and unfortunately, I like to eat my safe foods. Um, but I love cooking, and it's something that really, I enjoy being able to cook and people liking my food is something that gives me some pleasure. Um, but yeah, sometimes I don't try new recipes. It's just because um, I'm a bit wary about eating the food. So this was all your questions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have more questions, anything else you would like to know about myself and my frugal life, yeah, please leave a comment here or on the other community post, and I will do another video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and see you very, very soon. Bye bye for now.